If you're here, it's because you're a teenager wanting to learn how to make your money work for you, or you're an adult searching for ideas to give your kids. Either way, you're in the right place. Because in this video, we're going to be going over some of the best ways to start investing as a teenager. Step number one is going to be figuring out where to actually invest. The way I found success in both business and investing was by treating both avenues like a game. This can help you get a good frame of reference for the decisions that you make and the places that you decide to not only invest your money, but also your time. In games, you typically have levels or skills that you can work on to level up your character. As you level up your character, this is going to give you some kind of reward, or at least access to some kind of new thing or new part of the map that you wouldn't have had access to before. Life can be treated exactly like this, and this is exactly how we're going to gamify our success when it comes to investing. Now, when picking what to invest in, it's very important to remember that there are levels to everything, and you need to operate within the level that you're at, or else you're going to start operating outside of your means, and you'll notice that your progress will either slow dramatically or stop completely. To give you an example, let's say you're starting out with $100 to invest. Taking that $100 and investing in, let's say, the stock market would be operating outside of your means or operating within a level that you're not currently at. $100 in the stock market at an 8 to 10% return really isn't going to do much. It's not going to make you a millionaire overnight, and it's really not the best form of investing when you have that little amount of capital to begin with. Instead, when you're starting out, you need to understand that you most likely have limited funds, but an abundance of time. And when you have these two different types of value that you can invest, you need to understand which ones you can use to capitalize the most. When you have more time than money, the best type of investment that you can make is character development. If you have little money and a lot of time, you want to take that time and invest it into building up your skill levels. As you build up these skill levels, you'll notice that your potential for earning more money will increase dramatically because the returns in cash for the amount of time that you invest is going to be proportionate. When you're first starting out in this game, you're essentially going to be starting at level 1. And this literally goes for everything. You're just going to be this brand new character starting out trying to figure out and navigate the landscape of investing in business. And at level 1, the most important thing you can do with any form of character development is identifying which skills you want to level up in. When I was growing up, we used to play a game called RuneScape, and in RuneScape, your character has several different skills that you can develop, and one thing that I did that a lot of other people would do as well that helped me gain a massive advantage over other players was I became a pure in specific skills that I wanted to level up. This specific kind of training and leveling up in a specific category helped me gain an edge over all the other players. So what I want you to do when you're first starting out is invest in yourself and pick the skills that you see having the highest cash return so that you can develop those and increase the amount of money that you're going to generate from them. Step number 2 is going to be understanding different currencies. The second currency is going to be time. Time is one of the greatest and most abundant currencies that you're going to have when first starting out. Any smart investor will tell you that you should never sit on capital and just let it sit there without letting it grow or potentially earn you more of that capital. And that's why when you're starting out, if you have an abundance of time as a currency, you should be investing it. You can take that time to learn new skills, learn new jobs, or create new things, all with little to no investment from your other currency, which is going to be your cash. Now, just like cash investments, time investments do compound. As your time investments compound, you're going to notice that they'll create more opportunities and also give you more leverage for other future investments. On to step number 3, which is going to be finding the best returns. Now, I know you're just starting out and you may not even know what a return is or what a good return is. The thing about investing both cash and time is you really don't know what a good investment is until you actively start investing. Learning from people that have actively invested both time and cash into the things that you want to learn is the best way of identifying what things have the highest return. And the crazy thing is, these people can literally be anyone. Every single person on earth has made some form of an investment of both time and cash. And if they're completely honest about it, they'll be able to give you some great insight onto what the return was and if it was actually a good return for them or if it was a bad return for them. Now, a great place to start learning what's a good investment is by learning through books and observing through people. Books will teach you about people that have made investments that you may never get to meet in real life. Same goes for watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts where you actually get to sit in and listen to these people talk about their investments, talk about their businesses, and explain the returns or explain the struggles that they had while they were making those investments. When it comes to the books that you're going to be reading, the books that I've found have the greatest return are going to be self-help books. And one of my favorite books that I think you should all start out with is a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I've literally read this book through 4 times now, and I'm gonna probably read it again. When it comes to observing through YouTube, podcasts, or any other format, you really want to make sure you're only watching people that are actively doing the things that you want to do. If you don't know what you want to do yet, the best investment you can make is those self-help books, where you're going to develop a greater understanding of yourself, ideally giving you more insight into the things that you actively want to pursue. Step number 4 is going to be creating cash flow, and this is going to be the final step before we actually get into what you're going to be investing this cash into. Cash flow is the life of any successful business or person, and without cash flow, that person or business is just gonna die. That's why getting your first cash flow at a young age is so important, because then you can start working on the second form of cash flow, which is going to be investing or working capital. Now, there's going to be 2 different options that you'll have for generating this cash flow, and both have their strengths and weaknesses, so really decide which one you think is the best fit for you. The first option is going to be to go out and get a job, and the second option is going to be going and doing freelance work with whatever skills you currently have. Now, if you've already got a skill that you've built up, doing freelance work may be the best option, because it's going to give you a lot of flexibility and also the opportunity to develop that skill even more while getting paid. Now, one thing that's very important when it comes to these 2 different types of cash flow is you don't want them consuming all your time. Always remember that time is a currency, and if you're actively trading that currency of time to a job or to your freelance work, and it's outweighing the returns that you're getting, you may be taking away from that time that you could be investing into these other avenues that are going to have a much higher return. As you approach this level, or as you approach this stage in life, it's really important to try as many things as you can. You most likely don't really know what's going to work for you or what you actually would like to pursue long term, so it's important to try everything. Start a YouTube channel, create a dropshipping store, run an Amazon FBA brand, do some freelance work, start photography, do anything that you think could have a high return, but also something that you're passionate about. Step number 4 is going to be capital investments. This is where things will start to get a little bit more complex, but honestly, it's a very exciting stage in your life because you're going to start to get to see your money actually work for you. Now, when it comes to investing capital, it can be separated into 2 different categories. The first is going to be high risk investments, and the second is going to be low risk investments. Low risk investments will be things like your RSP or your retirement accounts, IRAs. Those are going to be your long-term investments where you just add capital to them and they will gradually grow over time. So what you're going to want to do at a very young age is open up these accounts and start allocating a very small amount of money to these as you build up your skills. Remember, the money that you're generating from the skills that you've developed has a higher value being invested in other areas, but allocating a very small amount to these long-term investment tools is still a good idea, because as you add more, you're going to get into the compound field, and you'll notice that your amount of money that you've added will gradually be growing and compounding over time, amounting to a very large sum of money later on in life. Now, the real hands-on form of investment, or high-risk form of investment, is going to be stock trading. Now, stock trading can be done in several different kinds of ways, but the way that I recommend you start out, because you're going to have limited amounts of capital and we're trying to give you the highest potential of return, is going to be day trading options. Now, this is a form of investment that I personally do, and I've noticed a massive return on the amount of time and money that I've invested into building up this skill. The way options work is you go and you buy a contract option for a stock at a set price. What this means is if you have a stock selling at $100 and you buy the option to purchase that stock at $100, and then that stock goes up to $200 or $150, you can now purchase that stock still at $100 using that option. That's one form of exercising your option. The other form of exercising your option, which is going to be the method I recommend you do, is actually selling that option contract. Think of it like you own the right to buy a stock at $100 even though it's worth $200 now. You sell that right to buy the stock at $100 for an amount of money that the buyer is willing to pay. This is considered the option contract price, and these prices can go up dramatically if the underlying value of the stock that you have purchased the option for goes up. Now, investing into options or day trading options is a more complex form of day trading, but the reason why I want you to start down this avenue is because it has the highest return potential, and it also has the best return potential for smaller amounts of investing. You can go ahead and you can invest $200, $500, or even $1,000 and generate returns that you wouldn't typically get unless you were investing with $30,000 or $40,000 when buying the actual stock itself. Now, of course, with complex forms of trading and higher earning potential, there of course is more risk that comes with that. And that's why understanding the process of how to learn options trading is very important. When starting out in any form of trading, whether it's options or just stock trading, you always want to start out with testing your strategies on a paper account. You want to do this because when you're starting out, you don't have much capital to risk, and you also don't have any skills to back what you're doing. So you want to develop those skills using a paper trading account, actively trading the markets without real money. And the way that it's done is you have to treat it like it's a real account. So don't go out there and start with a paper trading account of $1 million if you only have $500 to actively invest with. If you have $500 of cash actively to invest with, start with a paper trading account that only has $500 in it. The reason why you want to do this is because as you increase the dollar value of your account, the ratios and also the emotional stress that you're going to be dealing with when trading will change dramatically. Trading with $1,000, trading with $10,000, and trading with $100,000 all have different multiples, and they all carry a different level of stress that comes with that trading. Now, a way that you can actively trade live markets with a paper trading account is using a platform called Webull. I like this platform because it's very straightforward, it's very simple to use, and you can actively trade options using a paper trading account. Now, with options, there's two different types of options that you can purchase. One is called a call option and one is called a put option. A call option is basically saying you think the stock value is going to go up, and a put option is basically saying you think the stock is going to go down. This gives you a unique opportunity where you can make money not only as a stock's value goes up, but also as a stock values goes down. And that's why I like options, because it gives you a lot of different ways to make money, and the earning potential is so much higher than it would be if you were to just go out and buy that stock. Now, if you really want to get more detailed on options trading and get a better understanding of it, I'd recommend watching some of my other videos, because that's where I'm going to actually go ahead and explain options trading, the concept around it, and my trading strategies, so you can actually learn how to trade options and then go and paper trade them, actively testing the strategies that I just taught you.